That one's rolling right now, and then, yeah, if you want to go for it.
Okay, get this. Ready? Okay, there you go. Now we're rocking. Sherry, thanks so much for joining us today. It's really cool to get to interview you with kind of our history. You've had a pretty big impact in Colorado golf on the women's side, especially in Colorado. What is your hope on kind of the impact that you can have on the next generation of golfers?
You know, my big hope is playing in all of these events is that young girls will want to play more golf. It's still, the numbers are still skewed a little bit. If you look at them, there's just not nearly as many girls as there are boys, which there probably never will be, but just to show that it doesn't matter how big you are, it doesn't matter how small you are, doesn't matter how old you are, golf is a game for life. And you know, like you and I talked, I get to play with my kids while I'm here. I mean, just the three of us going out walking, playing golf is just amazing. I mean, I just, there's not really another sport that I think would be as much fun as that. So hopefully these girls will start playing. You know, I have my dad to teach me to play, you know, golf. And so I see that a lot here now at Valley. I see a lot of dads with their daughters. So hopefully there'll be more and more of them that decide to play.
Yeah, I'm having a daughter here in the next 6 months, so hopefully it keeps going, and
I hope so.
We'll have a golf scholarship as long as, you know, you're going to be willing to teach her, and we'll be able to.
So when the coaches call me and say, hey, I need somebody, I'm going to say, I got one for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From a pro perspective, I think a lot of people think it's really, you know, glitz and glam, and you're on the golf course all day, and really cool. What is something that people wouldn't necessarily expect from a golf pro, or kind of the lifestyle or the job?
You know, the travel is not as easy as it may appear. You know, the guys that you see in the upper echelon of the PGA Tour, you know, they're traveling in their private jets and their chauffeurs, and you know, a lot of them don't even drive. And I mean, it's such a different way of life than it is for, you know, everybody else traveling, packing your bags, you know, changing your flights, and you have to do all of that pretty much yourself. The competition is the same, you know, whether it's whatever level you're at, the competition is still there for golf, which is great. They try to level the playing field here with the Colorado PGA and give the women, it's about 85-90% yardage. I'd love to tell you that that's equal, but you've played with me. You see how much farther the guys hit it than me, but I don't, you know, to me it doesn't matter. I can still, my short game can still be there. So I just have to, for me, I have to put that stuff out of my head and not try and swing harder or do something to try and level the playing field, if you will.
Speaking on your, you know, the distance thing, I remember coming out and watching you when you played in the Colorado Senior Open in the men's side. First woman to ever play in that. And I remember John Elway, I think, was in the group ahead of you. And just watching you kind of compete with those guys and talking to you after the round, you're like, I hit hybrid into almost every single hole. But you know, held your own and really played well that
week. I shot like 75. I was thrilled with that. And from 7,000 yards, I'm like, I'll take that.
It's awesome. And compare that to, you've now played in the U.S. Women's Senior Open every year that they've had it. What is, you know, what's the difference between a state open and then the, you know, national open?
Well, so the national open it's unique in, first of all, the courses they pick are phenomenal. They are the best courses in the country. I mean, these are courses that have stood the test of time. I mean, they're just amazing. And the nice thing, interestingly enough, about the senior women is we get all of these courses that the men can no longer play. So because we're playing pretty much almost all the way back on a lot of these tee boxes, there's nowhere to put the guys. So these courses have been kind of left behind. Well, now all of a sudden, here comes the senior women's open, and now these courses become viable again, so it's really cool. Very difficult. I think the most difficult course I ever played was the one in NCR a few years ago. Hitting to those greens the green complexes were so difficult. I don't even know how to describe it. So I think it's just such a grind. You are exhausted when you're done with that week. I mean, you are mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, I will tell my brother who caddies for me, you know, we'll finish a hole and I'm like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to play that hole again. Like, you know, after 4 days of just, you know,
Yeah.
and it just shows you how hard golf can really be.
Yeah.
And in a way it's good because then you come and you play other courses and it makes it a little bit easier for you because those courses beat you up so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the USGA is very, they're fair, but they're not going to make it easy.
Yeah, no, they want to get the best out of you guys,
Yes.
and they want to see, you know, I think from a golf fan, it's fun watching the pros struggle, right? Like it's fun watching them make a double bogey instead of 10 birdies in a round and no bogeys. It's fun seeing that every once in a while, and I think that's kind of what the USG, USG strives for.
You know, sometimes, you know, now with everything being online, so, you know, we're just out there for everybody to see, right? So, like, you know, I'll be playing and I'll make like a double. And I'll be, oh, darn, everybody at home just saw that, you know, like, they just saw it, they did that. And they'll comment on it.
Yeah.
You know, they'll actually send me a text or something and say, I'm like, oh, well, what about the birdies I made? Like, what are we talking about the double
like,
for?
we expect you to make birdies. We don't expect you to make the doubles.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time. Hopefully more birdies in the next couple days as you're heading down the Grand Junction and playing in some stuff in the next couple weeks. Hopefully we have more birdies and not as many. No doubles is what we're shooting for.
Yeah, that would be great.
Thanks for joining us, Sherry.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's good to see you.
You too.